Yo, what's up guys, this is ApTreX here. Today I'll be reviewing the first ever official build of Strato Emulator. So let me show you guys that this is the official Strato GitHub page where you can see all the current ongoing development. As you might already know, Strato is basically a forked version of Skyline emulator with additional features which is under development. Now let me also talk about minimum requirements if this emulator can work on low-end devices. So Strato has the same minimum requirements like Skyline emulator, Android version 10 or above, and that's about it. The processor requirements differs game to game. For example, if you are emulating Sonic Mania, then obviously it will even work on low-end devices. But if you try emulating Pokemon Scarlet, then you need an flagship processor. So Android 10 or above if you want to try Strato emulator as well. Now you can find its builds in the Actions tab. I have already loaded the Strato emulator on my Android device. You'll notice that its logo is just like Skyline emulator's logo. The Strato emulator UI and package name have yet to be changed from Skyline emulator. Currently the developers are only working on changing details in the source code of Strato. If we just go ahead and scroll down, you will see that in its app details, its package name is Skyline.emu and it is the version 0.0.3. Let's just go ahead and open the emulator. As usual, if you open it for the first time, you will have to choose the folder where you store your Nintendo Switch games. I have already done that. You will also notice that the UI of Strato emulator is just like the old normal version of Skyline emulator. All the accents etc. have yet to be reworked, so you just have to be patient, wait for about 6 to 7 months and you will start seeing the difference. But first of all, let's make sure that we have enabled dock mode, show performance statistics, aspect ratio, device aspect ratio, GPU driver configuration. This is the part where I'd like to tell you guys that make sure to use turnip drivers. If you have a Snapdragon processor which is below 8 Gen 1, then you should definitely use turnip drivers. For today's video, we'll be using the Mesa 3D turnip driver by the main developer of Skyline emulator. Let's select it. Let's go back now. Force triple buffering has been enabled. Executor slot count scale, set it to 6. Flush threshold 256 is okay. You can go all the way down to 64. Force maximum GPU clocks. Scroll down more. Fast GPU readback has been enabled along with writes. Disable direct memory import. Now let's go back, refresh and see if any games work. Super Mario Odyssey, let's go. The amount of FPS which we are getting is pretty cool. But let me skip this cutscene. And as usual, there are some graphical issues present. And the game is running pretty smooth, about 30 to 45 FPS. Let's go back because it has a lot of graphical issues. Let's try Pokemon Scarlet. Let's start the game. The game appears to be frozen. Seems like Pokemon Scarlet isn't working, so let's back out of it. Let's try Pokemon Sword, and before doing that we'll need to import our save file. So we'll hold the game, then click on import and select the Pokemon Sword save file from your device, then click on play. Your save file will be successfully imported. Let's see how well does this game work now. In the Strato emulator, at the top left corner you will be able to see the FPS which we are getting. Let's back out of this cave. And if you guys remember, then in my last video in which I tested Pokemon Sword gameplay on Skyline Purple Edition on my OnePlus 11, I was getting literally 100 plus FPS, but in the Strato emulator we are experiencing about 45 FPS. But you'll have to note that this is a Snapdragon 888 processor. That's why we are getting less FPS. If we try it on 8 Gen 2, I'm pretty sure that we'll get around 100 FPS easily in this part of the world. But you can see there are a lot of stuttering issues. Make sure to enable shader cache if you don't want any stuttering issues. On a flagship device it doesn't stutter, but even Snapdragon 888 is now 3 years old, so we can't expect much from it. And the animations are being loaded. That's pretty cool, but it has graphical issues. Okay, it did not freeze. Alright. So yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about Strato emulator. I really hope that they create a new UI which is different to Skyline emulator. After trying out the first ever official Strato build, I'm kinda disappointed to see that Pokemon Scarlet did not work. But that's about it. Other games do work just like the normal Skyline emulator. See you guys next time. Goodbye.